It's been a while since I've gone live, and I might just have a special guest, so don't go away. Before I get started, though, I would love to see where you are watching from. I always love seeing that, so be sure to write in the comment section where in the world you're watching from. All over the world, we get people, and it's just so cool. I have to tell you. It's so cool to see your comments, to see everybody watching and getting involved in everything that's going on in the world these days, because we know, and I think my guest may have a thing or two to say about what's going on in the world today. But I'm going to say hello to everybody joining me. Thank you guys so much for your support. Hey, Brian, I'm going to put my glasses on. Okay. We've got Brian from Bel Air, Michigan. We've got Kelly from Barnstable, Maine, Massachusetts. We've got Sean from Farmersville. Brian, hugs. And we've got Tina, the Arizona Christian Patriot. I need to watch it. Do you guys have Tina, do you have a podcast? I want to tell you about my podcast. In fact, my guest, who will be here momentarily, and I have a podcast. Well, I've been doing a new podcast, but he's going to be on my podcast. I'm going to have him on like every other week or so. But, back in the old days, like 2 years ago, no, actually about 4 or 5 years ago, a podcast was considered audio only. And now a podcast is like video as well. But so yes, Arizona Christian Patriot. God bless you. Hey, Janet, how are you? Janet is in my Wildly Well community. I'm sure we're going to have other people joining in, but I just wanted to tell you about that before we get started. My Wildly Well community, if you're interested, every day of the week we do something different. It's a private coaching community based on health and faith. And if you're interested, every day of the week, we do something different. Monday, motivation, Toxic Tuesday, workout Wednesday, and Thursday, you get to listen to the Bible. Freedom Friday, Saturday, take the day off. And every Sunday, we have a live Zoom call chat with just us. Like, these things are great. I love this opportunity, this platform. I really do. I love Facebook. I think it's great because it's brought us to this point where we can communicate like this. But in these weekly chats every Sunday, I get the opportunity to listen to you, and we have more of the back and forth. So I love doing that. If you guys want more information, you want to join the community, you can check out ShemaneNugent.rocks/wildlywell-community. All right, guys, saying hello to a few more people coming in here. Tina says, not yet. Hey, Lloyd from Hamilton, Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Oh, here is a special guest that you guys might enjoy talking to.
Special guest. Hi, everybody. My name is Ted Nugent. I'm her keeper.
You're my special guest.
You're a special guest. You've been a special guest for 34 years.
Yeah, almost 34 years. Yes.
Hi, everybody. So there's somebody from Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
Yeah.
Old Mayor Hubbard in Dearborn, Michigan. Now, boy, the memories I have in Dearborn at the Dearborn Hills Golf Course at Telegraph and Michigan Avenue. My cousin Mark and I learned how to hunt skunks with our bows and arrows and shoot carp and goldfish in the Rouge River. Hi, everybody. Memory Boy has arrived.
Memory Boy. So before we get into, I'm welcoming people, giving them a minute to jump in. By the way, if you hit the table, the whole thing knocks.
Boy, you look like a school marm.
I know, right?
A secretary at the library. Can I have a date tonight? Will you have dinner with me after you get out of the library?
Let me check my calendar. Let's see.
You look so beautiful.
Hey, Alyssa, how are you?
Hi, Alyssa. How are you?
Alyssa's in the Wildly Well community,
So what are we doing? Is this like a Facebook thing?
I wanted to tell people about, yes, this is Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. We've got Jim watching on YouTube and Joshua on YouTube from Kansas.
Kansas.
And we've
Kansas
got
soon.
Martin from Canada on
Love my
Facebook.
Canadian friends. We wish you well up there under the thumb of a tyrant. Boy, that's a horrible situation. But stay strong.
Yep.
But fight against that tyrant. What a horrible man he is.
So what I wanted to talk about, actually, I wanted to say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining Ted and I. We have a brand new podcast that we want to share with you. If you go to Apple Podcasts, and look up just my name, Shemane, you can see the latest podcast that we did, or listen to the latest podcast that we did. I titled it Rock and Roll and Row. Or actually Rock and Row.
Rock and Roll.
Row, yes. So
we discussed the controversial cluster slam of the abortion tragedy in America and around the world. And boy, the dishonesty from the anti-life people, and it's not like they're just choice. They've turned into a frenzy, a hyper maniacal pro-death. It's not even like they're not pro-choice. They're just pro-death. And not all of you, if you believe in the right to choice, because I believe, and Shemane might or might not agree, but I believe that an abortion, it's you're killing a human being. But in those extreme circumstances where a surgeon and a spiritual advisor between the father and the mother of the child makes that decision, certainly it is up to them when it comes to saving the life of the child or the mother in these extreme cases. So with the extreme cases in mind, I am for abortions to be legal, safe, but as rare as possible, because it's a human being. I'm against killing 6-year-olds. I'm against killing 2-year-olds, and I'm against killing 30-day-olds. So that's my position on it. Certainly that's a life.
Well, I agree with you. Abortion is murder. And I think, and this is one of the things that we get into pretty heavy in our podcast, is that, back in the 70s, it was more socially acceptable to talk about abortion.
Because not much is known.
No, but now what's going on is that, and we get into this, I wanted to talk about other things. We'll jump around a little bit here on this Facebook.
Love jumping around.
Thank you so much for joining me. But what we talk about in the podcast, and I'd love for you guys to go check it out. Go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and just search my name and look for Rock and Row, ROE. And we talk about rock and roll. We talk about, remember the things that we were talking about, sitting on our curvy couch?
Yes, we talk about snuggling. We talk about the
actually.
It's like a martial art. We've got snuggling down to a martial art. It's like a samurai. It's like a spiritual snuggle.
Your hair looks good, by the way.
It is.
So it's so funny because you just put your hands through it and it looks great.
Well, I just got in from doing chores. I'm actually sweaty and nasty, but I'm kind of red from the Texas sun out there. But I'm not worried about hair and makeup. Whatever happens, I'm good with.
There was a comment here. I'm trying to find it.
That I look like a dork?
No. She said, somebody said, I learned patience right here. I learned patience just watching you next to Ted.
Yeah. Because I'm so patient with her? Is that what you learned?
That's exactly what he meant. But so we wanted to talk about that. We wanted to talk today also a little bit about I'm going to say Jan 6, not the whole month name, because I don't want to get banned here.
What a lie. What a lie. What a scam.
It's really unfortunate that, some people seem to get away with the infiltration of certain buildings on certain dates and others don't. And we know that Stephen Colbert's team, his production team, went there. Adam Schiff opened the door and let them in.
Like the police did on January 6th. They opened the door and let the protesters in because that was a legitimate First Amendment. Here's my take on it, and I have inside information. The perpetrators of all the vandalism and all the violence, all the rioting, all the destruction on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol were either Antifa, Black Lives Matter, or the FBI. The Trump supporters didn't riot. The Trump supporters actually got in trouble for trying to stop the vandalism. But what Liz Cheney and these freaks in the Democrat Party and the Republicans that are trying desperately to be Democrats, they are lying, and they're not letting information or evidence into the hearing that contradicts their talking points of trying to condemn President Trump and President Trump supporters. And if you would be patient with me for one moment, as you display great patience, Donald Trump did a great job. If you don't like Donald Trump, then you don't like things that are good for America. If you don't like Donald Trump and you want to hurt Donald Trump and his supporters, then you are against the lowest unemployment in our history. You are against the healthiest economy in our history. Then you are against having secure borders. Then you're against energy independence. If you're against Donald Trump, you're against everything that was really, really good for quality of life in America. And if I may be so bold, and I may be, if you're against Donald Trump, then you're against all the good things. And if you're against good things, you are a bad person because you're against securing our borders. That would make you a bad person. It really isn't opinions anymore or your take on things. If you're against Donald Trump, you're against making America stronger and healthier. So that makes you a bad person.
So Mark Gray, is that the same Mark? You're Mark Gray? I think it is.
It could be Mark. Love you, Mark.
brings up, how come in these Jan 6 hearings nobody ever is interviewing Ray Epps? Ray Epps was the one.
And so many. How about the FBI undercover scam convicts? They're criminals from the FBI. And I love my friends in law enforcement. But my God, how do you live with yourselves when you violate your sacred oath to the Constitution and actually conduct criminal activities and try to blame it on Trump supporters? Yeah. How do you live? What do you say to your daughter? What do you say to your children?
Have you seen the recent, their bombshell witness that she's testifying on behalf of hearsay? So number one, how does that work out? Number two, why is all of it one-sided? Why is there no cross-examination? Why is there no opportunity? There's a panel of Democrats and 2 rhinos. So there's never going to be a really fair hearing.
Because the Jan 6 participants are treasonous, criminal oath violators, and
the committee participants.
The committee. Yeah. Everybody on that committee hates America. They want America weak. They want blacks to hate whites and whites to hate blacks. They want to divide us. They want to create unemployment so that we are slovenly and dependent on their crumbs from their table of abuse of power while they enrich themselves with insider trading, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
How do you go into Congress making, what is it, $100 and some $1,000
and then you be worth $100 million?
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
Nancy Pelosi is evil.
There's a lot going on that's wrong with this world. But you and I and everybody watching
there's
here
nothing wrong with our world.
Have an opportunity to create a great life for ourselves by promoting peace and calm. And last night in my Zumba class,
you weren't peaceful or calm. You were like a maniac.
I'm kind of an animal. Anyways, I think it's really, number one, it's really fun. It's really healthy. But if we all had the opportunity to do the thing that makes our heart sing and then share it with other people, I don't welcome people into the class and go, Democrats on this side, Republicans on that side.
We never asked.
We all just had so much fun. I got to say, my spirit is buoyed from that.
Buoyed spirit. Yes. Like archery, the mystical flight of the arrow. Just think, everybody can shoot archery. We have friends with no arms that shoot a bow and arrow. We have friends with no legs. We have friends that are very weak because of muscular atrophy. Is that the word? But they draw a lightweight bow with their mouth and their feet. And they literally become one with the path of their life arrow. Do not underestimate the sanctuary, the peace and tranquility and battery charging, soul cleansing of the simple act of archery. As long as you get a graceful, lightweight bow that is absolutely effortless to draw back and become one with the arrow. When you draw back a bow in the archery celebration, there is no evil. There is no corruption. There is no fact checkers. There is no hate. There is no racism from Joe Biden down. So think about archery. Find a lightweight, graceful bow for your kids. You can do it right in the living room, shooting at a proper backstop at close range, 5 feet, 10 feet. Yep. Archery isn't about long range or power. Archery is about grace, focus, stealth, breathing, zen, peace, tranquility, being the physics of spirituality, of a sanctuary. And I kid you not, when you knock that arrow and you begin to focus on the bullseye on that bag of newspapers or a proper archery target in the living room or in the backyard or in the basement, right there, 10 feet away, you focus, you look, you point the arrow, you have muscle memory and breathing control, and life is perfect, at least temporarily. And then it fortifies you to be a better we the people, demanding constitutional accountability from our elected employees. What a soliloquy that just was.
And you did it all in one breath.
One breath. If I was a snorkeler, I wouldn't even need a tank.
Have you ever tried to hold your breath like underwater? I know you don't like going.
Yeah, back when I was a kid, I used to swim a lot in Lake Michigan, off the rocks in Chicago and all around Michigan, at the different lakes. I love the Great Lake state of Michigan. And I swam like a carp. I mean, I was always swimming, and I would hold my breath and go underwater with a sharp stick that I whittled from a stave in the woods along the Rouge River. I didn't swim in the Rouge River. You'd come up with turds in your nostrils. But I would take a stick and I would stab fish and catch fish and eat them by stabbing them, by being like a little skinny orca.
But you're right. You know,
I'm always right. That's
we are all about health and freedom and health freedom.
That's right.
And being able to take care of ourselves. You know, it's interesting how it was. We started out this Facebook Live talking about, you know, the Roe v. Wade overturn. And, you know, what happened to my body, my choice? What happened to that? It's interesting how it switches. Like when we were supposed to get the
experimental shot.
Okay.
You had to get it because it's not your body. You have to take it. We're demanding it. Those same people now are going, my body, my choice. These people are zombies. They're freaks. They're strange creatures. They're so hypocritical to a toxic level. It's really staggering to witness these people turn on themselves and then demand their insanity upon the rest of us. So here's my recommendation. I can't say what I really want to say on the streets of Detroit, but critical thinking and defiance. Play the role of Rosa Parks. When someone tells you to do something that your instincts tell you otherwise, defy illogical, criminal, immoral, suspicious, questionable decrees and mandates. There's only one source of any mandate in my life that I will obey. Her. Only Shemane can mandate anything to me.
This is true. And I'm going to mandate that we get off this soon.
Yowza.
But I wanted to tell you guys about our new podcast. So go check it out. If you want to be entertained while you're driving the car and not get distracted, like watching how handsome your hair is, you can just listen to our podcast. And I'm interviewing other people. I've got Juan O'Savin coming up. And if you don't know who he is, make sure you search out who he is, because he is so informed and there's a lot to say. I know Laureen, who is watching, can't wait for that podcast. We've been talking back and forth. There's a lot of info going on, a lot of things that, unfortunately, to look forward to. This is not going to be the summer of love. There are a lot of food shortages coming, and the inflation and skyrocketing gas prices.
Criminal activity from our government.
And it just seems like a lot of people get away with some things and others don't. So the point is, we need to promote peace and health and freedom and do it peacefully and find the thing that makes your heart sing. You got rock and roll. You're going on tour.
I got rock and roll. I got archery. I got my dogs. I got you. I got the stove, the way you cook, the greatest cook in the world. If I may, join me at Ted Nugent Real America Voice Spirit Campfire. I have no idea how to get there, but Real America Voice. I have my own podcast on the Real America Voice system, whatever that is. But I also have a Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire on YouTube and whatever else StreamYard allows me to get on without being censored completely. But thank you all for your support for Shemane, because she is the queen of truth, logic, and common sense. But I want to promote a great charity. If you would visit FullCircleProgram.com, FullCircleProgram.com, a bunch of young Americans saving lives from the chemical warfare being waged upon Americans by our own government, orchestrating the importation of fentanyl and methamphetamine. That's the Joe Biden administration going, yeah, open the border. Let's let these chemical warfare gangs, the drug cartels, just bring all that fentanyl. They caught a guy with 150,000 tablets of fentanyl in California. They caught them and they let them go. The court system, the district attorney, the government of California let people with enough fentanyl to kill 10 million Americans. They let them go. So anyhow, FullCircleProgram.com. And if you want to get conservative values back into policymaking, join Shemane and I at HunterNation.org. It's pretty simple. We request that you join us. HunterNation.org. Just go there and pledge to vote your values, your Christian values, your quality of life, constitutional values. HunterNation.org.
And in my interview with Juan O'Savin, we talk about voting and how, unfortunately, I don't know if I hesitate because I don't want to say things that will get me banned, but unfortunately.
How horrible is it you have to worry about that?
I know. Well, as far as the election being
fraudulent.
Okay. I didn't say it. Anyways, September 3rd is a big day that's coming up. And we talk about that in my podcast. September 3rd is a big day.
I'm doing a big party up in Athens, Texas.
Are you? Oh.
With Jack Brittany now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
What else is happening on September 3rd?
Alex, I'll tell you. We'll do another pod. But it's going to be in my podcast with Juan O'Savin.
Is my nose that big or just
I think it's just red. I think it's red.
Maybe I'm going,
you need
maybe
to
I'm
powder.
a clown. Maybe I'm like Bozo. Maybe I'm like have a clown suit on. I didn't know it.
I think you need to just powder it. And you've been rubbing it and stuff like that.
Nothing. I need gunpowder. See, I put some gunpowder on it. Anyhow, why do you have to have patience? Am I not fun to live with?
Yes. Yes,
you don't have to be patient with me. I'm like, do the dishes and the laundry. I vacuum. I blow out the vacuums. I do everything.
I think with the
I put that machine on your ass at night.
Whoever posted that was okay. So that sounds really weird.
It's a vibrator massage thing. I go,
okay.
It's like you could smooth out pavement with it. She likes it on her bones.
It's from my chiropractor. And here's the thing. It is a massager. There's no nakedness involved.
Well.
And no.
Not when I do that.
No. I tend to overdo it. I tend to overdo it in my Zumba classes. And I actually have scoliosis. And look who's here, Coco. And so when I get home from my classes, I'm like, Ted, use the machine on my lower back because I can barely walk sometimes. So that's what that's all about.
I kiss her while I do it. I kiss her.
Okay. All right. We are going off on many.
Should I pull this off and show Coco? Oh, no, it's too many bright lights. Okay, I love you.
I love you. Okay.
And I love you people too if you love us. If you love the American dream, I love you.
Talk about, really quickly, your new album.
I have a new record out called Ted Nugent Detroit Muscle with Jason Hartless from Detroit on drums and Greg Smith on bass guitar. These guys, it's the original Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bo Diddley, Motown Funk Brothers, Sam and Dave, Wilson Pickett. It's really the ultimate rhythm and blues grind fest. And it has some beautiful music on it. A song, an instrumental called Winter, Spring, Summer, Fall. that is a beautiful instrumental that conjures up the atmosphere and the aesthetics and the spirit of the great outdoors as God's miraculous nature changes from winter, spring, summer, fall. Anyhow, and there's a song on it called Feedback Grind Fire, and it's a love song to Shemane, and it's a love song to everybody. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me all your wildest dreams. Give me some feedback grind fire. Tell me what all of this means. Did it feel good? Did it feel right? Did I set your soul on fire? Did you fall in love? Did you live your dreams? Give me some feedback grind fire. Grind fire! And I scream and my forehead veins pop out and smack into the wall.
They do. Oh boy. Yes, they do. So Barbie Spradling is in my
Barbie, I love you. That's Ted's daughter. Barb, we love you.
She-
I used to hunt with her grandpa and her dad out there. What great memories.
Arizona,
We
yeah.
love you, Barbie.
She's in
And
our,
Ryan, how's Ryan doing?
She's in our Wildly Well community. And so if you want to find out more about that, it's a private community that you can join. Just check it out, Wildly Well resolution at my website, ShemaneNugent.rocks. So go pick up Ted's new album. It's not, do you call it, what do you call it? Is it
Detroit
an album?
Muscle. Well,
But is it an album?
It's got
What is
over
it?
1 million downloads of a song called
And
Come and Take It. And you can go to my website. I guess there's some kind of thing you punch on, but go to tednugent.com. Also, I have an unbelievable challenge coin that people are asking, how do you get one of these? There's a system out here where military and law enforcement and families share what we call a challenge coin. Mm-hmm. And because of the unbelievable relationship I've had with military and law enforcement, I created this Ted Nugent challenge coin. And this is now available at tednugent.com. There's the blood brother, the Freedom Projectile Manager. You can get that at tednugent.com, and you can get my personally autographed Come and Take It flag, personally autographed Come and Take It hat, and personally autographed I Will Not Comply hat. And you get these gifts from tednugent.com, and people get emotional. Because when I have my personal autograph on any type thing, especially battle cries for freedom and independence, there's mojo. There's mystical, magical, courageous, fire-breathing, middle finger on fire mojo. So go to tednugent.com and get yourself some mojo for the people that you love.
All right. Thank you, Ted, for coming on my podcast. Love you too. And
I'm going to go kiss the puppies.
I love you guys too. Thank you so much for joining us. Check out our new podcast. Go to wherever you get your podcasts and download it, subscribe, share it with your friends, because every week I'm going to be interviewing new folks, and Juan O'Savin's coming up either Friday. Okay. He's just, yeah. Either Friday or Monday it's coming out. It's going to be 2 parts because we talked for about 90 minutes and it's very entertaining, very educational. He is so unbelievably smart. Mark Gray, you know who he is. Many of you who are on here too know who he is. It's unbelievable what's coming up. You guys know it. I think everybody who's watching here knows that these are going to be some difficult times, but we can get through this. We will get through this. Find the thing that makes your heart sing and do it more often, then share it with other people. The media is trying to divide us, and God wants us to love one another, and we do. So turn off the TV, just watch us here, listen to my podcast, and enjoy life. Stay safe. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.